Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Between the Benches, second round, 2-3 games in. Let's introduce everyone. I am, as always, Dom. To my right, to your right is Jake.
What's up?
We're actually going to make an audible here because
There
we
you go.
always have it like that. Thank you. Now it makes a lot more sense. And in the middle of me and him is Jason.
I got a mic now.
He's got a mic
just
now.
making
Speaking of that again, Jason,
I got a mic now.
it's a lot better. That's a lot better. Yeah, and then we're just back, ready to roll. Games ones, game twos, mostly game threes have been played. The NHL schedule does not permit us to work in a fashion that makes sense, so it just is what it is.
well,
There's-
neither do they, so it's okay.
It's facts. Travel or no travel, it makes zero sense pretty much all the time. So there's a game still left with two games played, and it is what it is. What are you gonna do? But without further ado, let's get into it. Our first set of games here belongs to the East, with the Toronto Maple Leafs kind of being shocked by the Florida Panthers. 3 games right now. If you look at this beautiful graphic that I made at one point, we will see at the bottom. This is also on Instagram, sometimes on TikTok. Florida, 3 games straight. Close games. 1 or 2 goals, but 3 games straight. It is a 3-0 series. And what the heck happened, Jake?
The Leafs are fat and happy.
The Leafs are fat and happy.
Fat and happy.
What do you mean by that?
They won a series for the first time in forever,
Mm-hmm.
and now they just don't care. Coach is safe. He's going to keep his job, guys.
GM's going to keep his job as well.
GM's going to keep his job. Everyone's getting signed. Everyone keeps the money train rolling, and still have won as many second-round games as they have in the last 19, 20 years.
That's true. That is true. Yeah, it hasn't been the prettiest. I mean, like I said, it's not like Florida's running away with each game, but they've won 3 straight. And
No, but let me tell you, the analytics say the Leafs should have run away with every game.
yeah, well, there's a lot of stats going towards the Leaf direction. Stats that I know we've looked at, face-off percentage. A lot of times that means a lot in a hockey game in the playoffs. That heavily is leaning towards the Leafs. Their power play is the same. There's a couple other things lopsided towards the Leafs, but Florida, 3-0 in the series. And, man, I mean, that's rough. Toronto needs to win 4 straight on the road, at home, 4 straight. And I don't think there's a chance of that happening.
They need to do something that has only been done 4 times ever.
That's it, huh?
Yep, 4 times. The Leafs, the Islanders, the Flyers, and the Kings.
Yeah, I don't like the sound of that, if I'm going to be honest. If I am a Toronto Maple Leafs fan, I do not like the sound of that.
And the Leafs one, it was in the Cup final. But it was like in the 50s.
Yeah. What's going on here? I mean, really, what is happening here? Why is this series the way it is?
Well, I'm going to say 2 things. Sheldon Keefe is not good at his job. Shocker. And we did say it, and it's been a joke to us. But Top Bob, I'll take Top Bob.
Top Bob, Vezina. I've been hearing the Vezina word being thrown around all week for last week. And Bob's been playing at that level. Had a great, tremendous performance in each one of these games. Has only let up 2 goals. Kind of makes me think if Toronto could maybe score more than 2 goals a game, we'd be in a different direction here. But
You think with this offense that they could score more than 2 or 3 goals in a game?
do I think? I absolutely think they could.
No, you think they should?
Oh,
They should be.
Absolutely, 100%.
But they want to do all this fancy crap, and instead of just doing the very simple things that made Vasilevsky look bad,
Yes,
like they're trying to get in front. Which, to be fair, Florida's not letting them do those things.
sure.
They're a lot bigger and nastier than Tampa was.
Yeah.
But still, you gotta have that at least commitment to still do it. I know it's not going to be fun. It's not going to be a fun time trying to do all these things in the playoffs, even though Sheldon Keefe says have fun.
Yeah, that was a big thing, man.
Is going down 3-0 fun?
No. So going into this game 3 that we just watched yesterday on Sunday, going into this game 3, Paul Maurice and the locker room, they showed that locker room first. Absolutely electric. Guys yelling. Energy was off the charts, right? As it should be in a playoff game, period. Okay? Also come out in the arena. Not gonna lie, the anthem was absolutely insane. One of the hardest anthems I've ever seen, as far as the lady that sung the our anthem USA. Just phenomenal, electric atmosphere. There was a World War II vet in attendance that they showed. Dude was like, I don't even know, 98 years old, something crazy, electric. And then they show, well, a little bit previous to that anyway, though, but they show the Toronto Maple Leafs locker room. And Sheldon Keefe is talking on more a calm demeanor than I am right now.
He sounded like it was a game in December.
Yeah. And he said, have fun.
Which, to be fair, they did start well. They started really
Hey, they
well.
did. They actually, which I didn't expect. You and I were joking. We were like, Florida's scoring 2 first 5 minutes because this energy in this arena and the anthem that was just dropped on us was electric. But yes, Toronto scored within the first 5 minutes. That was the best 5 minutes they might have looked the whole game.
It's the best 5 minutes they looked all playoffs. They didn't dominate hardly any time in the Tampa series, but they did the things that Florida's now doing to find a way to win games.
Yeah. But it just was not about the whole Sheldon Keefe calm demeanor thing. And I know some of the broadcasts and whatever was like, they're just trying to keep them calm and collected.
There was at least 10 players within the frame not listening.
It's just, that's not, if you're down 2-0 in a playoff series, that's not it. Like, you're not going out there to play all calm and collected. That's not where you should be at, I believe. Personally, a lot of these games that we've seen this playoffs has been won not purely, but a big part of it was the energy the team has, the energy the team's showing, the energy that's on the ice, locker room, the guys, the emotional leaders, everything, the head coaches. That goes a long way for a playoffs in any sport. That's a large deal. I just like.
Oh, you mean leadership's important?
Leadership's important. Emotional leader, Matt Tkachuk, just one of the largest emotional leader examples that you can put out there.
Tkachuk and Ekblad.
Yeah.
Tavares, Marner, Matthews.
Yeah. And sort of invisible this past game. And I don't even know what was happening because Tavares got like 3 minutes of ice time the whole first period. Did not understand that very well. And then just Marner, Matthews maybe showed up in the first 5 minutes again, but that was it. You know, you see memes all over the internet right now. Like, do something about Matthews, Marner, Morgan Riley about this past game.
Flash does not win in the playoffs.
Correct.
Hard work does.
Absolutely.
Hard work's not fun.
No. And that's it. You're down 2-0 in the series.
It's a commitment to doing hard work.
You can't be preaching to your team, have fun. That's not it, Chief.
Well, that also shows.
That's not it, Keefe.
It shows why they're down, though. Not just the hot fun versus hard work comment. It's that they don't want to adjust to do the things that will do better. Like Florida wants you to have the puck so they can force a turnover and score off the mistake.
100%.
That's what they did against Boston. That's what they're doing to the Leafs, and the Leafs make mistakes way more than Boston does.
Mm-hmm.
So they won't adjust into saying we're not going to carry the puck out in the zone anymore. We're going to play dump and chase.
Yeah.
And put it on your defense, who should not be as successful as they've been. But them with the points, keeping the puck in the zone has been amazing. And getting on the Leafs when they try to enter the zone, forcing them to the walls and getting it out has been easy for them.
Yeah.
So use your speed, use your skill by dumping and chasing and putting the defense on the back foot. It's not that hard.
100%.
It's just saying, I'm going to do it.
Yeah. And granted, in this series, we saw the Sam Bennett stuff. with who's the rookie?
Nice.
Nice, thank you. With Matthew Nyes, right?
Who he would be the guy who would do those things.
Yes, not gonna lie, has been more than fantastic for Toronto. Has been absolutely great for Toronto. Shown up right from the beginning and looked so good, right? Sam Bennett takes him out of the game, whether you want to call it dirty or not, whatever. Takes him out of the game, and now definitely lacking. Toronto is definitely lacking. That shouldn't be all that. Shouldn't be it as far as losing one guy, and that's where you are. But
You want to know the biggest tell to this series I can show you?
What's that?
The O'Reilly goal in Game 2, when they jump out that 2-0 early lead that they end up choking away.
Yes.
The difference between him and everybody else on that team.
Yeah.
He scores, barely gives a fist bump. Bunting on the earlier goal loses his mind when he scores. Everybody else went on the O'Reilly goal, loses their mind on a 2-0 goal. And
now,
he's reserved, listen, we haven't done a thing.
Yeah.
We won a round and still haven't won a game yet in the second. You're not even halfway there yet.
We're not saying don't celebrate.
No, but I'm saying
there's time,
the job's
place.
not done.
Exactly. Ryan O'Reilly knows that he's there doing his work. Like he is there showing up at work to do his job, and it still needs to be done. That is that. Clearly not doing it successfully enough.
He knows the job's not done. Everyone else is fat and happy.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Jason, you want to say anything about the series?
I mean, you guys say you're shocked, but I can't say I'm shocked.
I'm not saying I'm shocked. I'm saying
I'm shocked.
The Leafs are shocked.
I'm sure as hell not. I mean, this is the team that knocked off the Boston Bruins, the team with the best season in NHL history.
It's fair.
And this is a Maple Leafs team who finally figured out how to make it past the first round. And like Jake said, they're fat and happy. They had their dessert. I don't see any. I just don't see any fighting these guys.
Yeah, true. You don't see it now, which is why I at least said that they would win in 7.
Yeah,
because they did all those things against Tampa.
No, you and I said 6.
I know I said 7 because it's funny. I know I said that.
That's a fact. You did. I said 6 for Toronto. You said 7 for Toronto. Jason back there said Florida in 6. So,
well, it's starting to,
yeah,
look like a sweep.
Wow, what a guy! Said the word too. That was pretty. Look at.
Put him in the bathroom. Put him in the bathroom.
Shout out to Don's paintbrush.
That was some solid improv, though. Hey, now it's to be said. Do we see our first sweep in these playoffs of this year?
No.
You don't think so? I don't think so either. But I think it could be 5. I think it could be in 5.
Because I think Joseph Woll is better than who has been hurt, Samsonov. He has been hurt if you look at him, every save he makes, he's wincing.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's fair. Yeah. So. All right. Let's move on. Let's go over to the West high energy series. The Dallas Stars versus the Seattle Kraken. This has been a tremendous series so far. Seattle takes game 1 in overtime. Dallas 4-2 win game 2. And Seattle just absolutely stomps on this series. 7-2 win last night. Phenomenal performance by Seattle. And I could honestly say for us all, the 3 of us in this room, we did not expect Seattle to be where we're at right now. Right?
We didn't have them making it past the first round.
Did any of us have it? No.
No.
I had them going to 7. That's the furthest we got. I had Colorado winning in 7. That's the furthest we went. Seattle, man, up 2-1 in this series against Dallas. Dallas is an extremely great team. Like, maybe this room's favorite at Cup right now. Or maybe been. But Seattle, it's so impressive. I think they're up to, and we had said this that last series, they had like 13 goal scorers on the team this playoffs, was the most in the playoffs. Now I think they're up to 16, which I believe the stat I saw is only 5 teams in the history of the playoffs have had 16 of their players score a goal in the playoffs. That's pretty crazy. But Seattle all energy for 60 minutes. I mean, this is my take every game I watch. I am always so impressed by the Seattle team, watching them play, watching them put it all out there. Every single player on the ice for Seattle is never letting up. It is all gas for 60 minutes or more. And I'm just impressed every time I've watched. I really have been so impressed. Now, I'm not saying Dallas ain't doing that either because Dallas is a team that naturally just does that, but it's something we expected. Seattle's in the second round against this Dallas team. Great defense. And just tearing it up. And we haven't talked since, but Dallas, it's not like they're performing bad. Game 1, Joe Pavelski came back, 4 goals, like sensational goals. Maybe the best hand-eye coordination in the league as far as tip-ins and stuff at this point in time. That's on our TikTok, by the way, which is right below. It just passed. It'll come back again at BTBFTF. I posted Joe Pavelski's goals on the TikTok if you want to see them. They are insane. I think he scored 1 or 2 goals the next game. Big player in this series. Large factor, of course. We expected that. Definitely missed him in the first round, but didn't need him. They're down still in this series, 2-1. Seattle's been great. Everyone on Seattle's been great. There's no one I can just be like, this dude's slacking. Matty Beniers had a goal last night. Now his goals have been a little bit garbage time goals, but goals nonetheless, I guess. Still energy out there. It's really all energy for Seattle. That's all I see it happen. I mean, that's my big thing for Seattle. Oh no, I'll let you talk now, Jake, if you want.
No, throw it to Jason. I mean, I have one point that I've noticed is in the games that Seattle has won, they do a really good job of limiting everything in front of the net.
Mm-hmm.
The game that they lost this series, and then the games last series, or the game when the team was able to get to the front of the net.
Yeah. Now, granted, game 1, Joe Pavelski scored those goals in front of the net, but they were dumb. Like, they were so stupid. They did not make sense in my brain watching them. Like, you can't defend against things sometimes.
This run that Seattle's doing right now is breaking my brain.
It is, 100%.
Because it's still the same dumbfoundingly stupid Hackstall offense that makes no sense and does not work in today's NHL until now.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Could just have the right group, man, top to bottom, I guess.
It has to be because it's players who are going to work in front of the net and behind the net because you have to, because it's only point shots.
Yeah. And again, like
point shots and pray is the Hackstall way.
And there's a lot of transition happening for that team too. But again, back to energy. I mean, because I can't not. I mean, that's just it. That's like the veins of this team. Energy is just running through everyone. Arena is also electric. I just feel like all the atmosphere you could imagine at all times around these players, this locker room, this team on the ice, in the arenas. It's just absolutely taking over, I think. Jason, anything?
Really just what you said before, just being impressed with this team because you look at these players on paper, it doesn't pop out at you. This is a playoff team, but now they're here. They're a cohesive unit. You're seeing it in this series, especially, with a Dallas team that we expected to go pretty far in the playoffs.
Yeah,
so
and
they're bringing the fight.
You said maybe not a playoff team. I wouldn't go that far. I would say playoff team, but not a team we expected to play extremely well against Colorado. Not a team we expect to currently be playing extremely well against Dallas. That was not in all of our bingo cards.
I can definitely say I would have never seen a chasing Ottinger from this team.
Yeah, man. That the last night's game, 7-2 win. Ottinger just they got to him. Second period he had a great first period. Both teams had a tremendous defensive first period. Second period, Seattle came out, scored a couple goals, maybe got under his skin a little bit, knocked down his confidence, and just all gas the entire time. Did not let up, did all the right things. Done deal. Made them sub him out.
What you're saying is doing the right little things
Yep.
works.
That's it. And then when you're doing them, to continue, don't lax. There's no lax in the playoffs, man. You keep that up. And because if you're up substantially against the team, right? If that happens 8-4 Devils game, right? 7-2 this game, that happens if you got a good coach on the other side. You're going to be now receiving a lot of physical energy coming your way during the third period of that game. So you still can't let up at the end of the third period because then you're just going to get popped by some guys, and that's just not it. Seattle was there for 60 minutes, no matter it being a 7-2 game. I think it might have even been 7-1 at one point. But yeah, it's just tremendous performance by them, man. And I look forward to see how this series goes because it is such a great series so far. It's so long from over. We get to move on. Head nods.
Yep.
Perfect. Hey, kicking it behind me a little bit because this is his team. Somehow, out of the three of us, it's his team that is here, and tonight for the draft lottery is me and Jake's team. Wow, my arm didn't. There you go. I thought it'd make it across. I guess not. We have the New Jersey Devils and the Carolina Hurricanes. The Carolina Hurricanes take the first two games of the series 5-1, 6-1. Flashbacks back to the Rangers series for the Devils. And then game 3 goes back to Prudential Center in Newark. 8-4 win for the Devils. Maybe the best they performed this playoffs.
See, I can only tell you one big difference before you throw it to Jason, though.
What's that?
The Rod Brindamore crazy eyes instead of Gerard Gallant. I don't
Dude,
adjust.
Man, I said that in our text group. That there was a point in time where Rod Brindamore was very pissed at the refs, and he started yelling. And it wasn't just a dude yelling. I did not physically see a guy yelling. We just saw these crazy eyes popping out of his head, and I was like, dude, I would be doing something in my pants right now if I was that ref. Like, you don't see that on the other side of a conversation you're having and come out alive, maybe. So, yeah, that's not something we ever saw from Gerard Gallant, who is now fired, by the way. Or maybe, is it mutually?
He got fired.
He got fired, let's be honest, right? I mean,
I hate that. He got fired.
Yeah.
Because guess what? You have to be able to adjust in a playoff series.
Yes.
There's no shocker of why he gets suddenly fired a lot, but
I think the right move for the Rangers. Yeah, Jason, do you wanna speak about this at all?
I knew going into this is going to be a lot tougher series than the Rangers, and it showed in the first two games. You know, a very big difference in tempo. You know, Carolina just coming at you with speed, with scoring. Game 3 looked like they made the right adjustments. They came out a lot chippier. Yeah, I mean, it seems to be a recurring theme from the first round to the second round where they start kicking it in then game 3. So, I mean, we'll see what tomorrow night brings, but.
Would you say that the early chippiness and message sending got Carolina off their game?
I'd say in game 3 it did. I mean, maybe. I mean, unless you guys saw something different than I did, but.
No, that's why I said it, because we've been preaching that point. That message sending is a very real thing in the playoffs, and the Devils have been losing at it.
That was
until this point.
That was the most energetic I've seen the Devils this playoffs, hands down. In that period, that first period they came out, second period too, pretty much. It was the best I've seen them play, hands down.
They came out and said we're not going to get rolled over.
Yeah,
and you got Jack Hughes getting in a fight.
Yeah, when you have Jack Hughes getting in a fight, that's when you know
a fight. It wasn't like gloves off fight, but the guys, they were feisty, and so it's not like Carolina was very much antagonizing it as well. It's not like it was a one-way ship. The Devils rose to what Carolina was giving to them, if not more, and made that happen 100%. We saw an actual fight happen, actually like a good fight. But yeah, I mean, hits all over the place. The Devils looked comfortable in that scenario, which is a lot to say for that team because I don't see that often for the Devils. They're a young team, of course, you know. So that's the Devils. No matter what happens, Jason, and I've been saying it, the Devils are showing shades of maturing, and this playoffs is a big step. No matter where this goes, like I don't care if Carolina wins the next 2 games and you're out in 5 games, gigantic step for the Devils as a team, and you got to be happy with the season. You know,
I was gonna say, I think Jack is just pissed that he lost his tooth.
it's
That's where
possible.
the feistiness is coming
It's
from.
possible. But yeah, I mean, it's a good game. It was a great game, honestly, all the way around for the Devils, for both teams to watch. It was a good game,
Yeah.
and they were rolling, and they did not stop rolling. You can't ask for more than that. They need to be able to continue to do that. You know, the series is only a 2-1 series. It's still a long way to go. But it's Carolina team is not easy. You know, I mean, they will never. You watch the Rangers quit, right?
Quit.
No quit in New York.
Yeah,
Absolutely quit.
you watch the Rangers quit. This Carolina team will never, genuinely won't quit. So this is a different series than the Rangers. You know, you didn't really steal a game. It was at home. But
No, you're
this was
still
a
in trouble.
big win.
Well, I guess you're still not in trouble, I should say.
No, not in 2-1 series.
Well, you haven't lost a game at home.
That's true. That's a fact.
You
Yeah, I
do
mean,
need a road win in this series, though.
absolutely,
I'll
you
say
do need
that.
a road win. Yep. But
Also,
I'm not.
We do see this with Carolina a lot.
What's that?
They win all their home games, lose their away games.
That's a fact. We saw that last playoffs. That was like their entire playoffs.
last series. They did it last series.
Did they?
Dominated the first couple.
Yeah.
Lost it.
Well, they had to win one away to beat the Islanders in 6, but
Well, they
still.
did, but they lost game 3 badly.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I mean, that does make sense now that you say it. That's the truth. But yeah, it's still a great team. You guys pushed back harder than I would have ever expected, and the correct amount.
But also,
hands down.
Freddie Anderson is terrible. Freddie Anderson has never been a good goalie. He'll steal you a game and lose you 3.
They had to sub him, right, Jason? They took him out that game?
I believe so.
Yeah, Kochetkov ended the game.
Yes, correct. Who got scored on a few times. But, you know, coming in cold, whatever. But yeah, no, it was Devils played. Devils played everything they needed to do. And they're getting better. I am seeing more net front stuff on defense, kind of not getting pushed around and not letting dudes sit. And on offense, I'm seeing a little bit from the Devils as well, little net front. But defense, the Devils are I feel like improving. They've improved 100% since game 1, round 1, hands down. So
shook the nerves off.
I could have. Yeah, could have. Anything else for this game, this series, Jason? It's your series.
I wanted it to my favorite series.
Yeah, okay. I mentioned earlier the series where we only have had 2 games played. They play tonight after the draft lottery. The Edmonton Oilers. What is that? In Edmonton now, I think. Right? Am I wrong? I don't remember.
You're not wrong.
Okay, that's what I thought. In Edmonton tonight for game 3 against the Vegas Golden Knights. Vegas took game 1 kind of decisively.
I mean, how could you forget that it was in Vegas?
Yeah, I know.
The double birds.
And then game 2. Yeah, you're right. I forgot about that part. Game 2, Edmonton decisively taking 5-1. What do you got, Jake? I know you're excited to talk about this one.
Well, first, before we get into anything,
Mm-hmm.
How can you not say just the phrase that power play?
Yeah, just so
my
sense,
God.
just dumb.
That is the definition of dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Like winning draws and then just having to deal with that absolute hydra of a monster.
Yeah,
I said this the other day. This is the team I do not want to play in the Stanley Cup.
Hands down.
Wow.
Or in the playoffs. That period.
I don't think there's many teams that can deal with them at full power at the moment.
No. No, absolutely not. They're at paces and records being made, and I mean, we saw what it was a power play percentage in the playoffs, the top percentages ever with a minimum of 7 games played. Last year's Colorado team, which was no surprise to us, was on there at like
I think it
42%,
was 2 years ago. It was Colorado.
maybe. Was that like 42%? That was that was the best that the playoffs had seen with power play percentage that made it deeper than one round. Edmonton currently is at, I want to say 56 point something percent. It's up there. It's high 50s. So the gap is just stupid. That gap between what they're doing and what anyone else has ever done on the power play in the playoffs does not make sense. It is incomprehensible.
Well, a big part also is, well, not to the power play, but big part of the last game. McDavid has arrived.
Yes, he has.
Took him long enough, but he's arrived.
That's a fact.
And like that steal shorthanded was stupid.
Hmm.
Was more of a just like kind of it was a just putting pressure on with his speed. And then once he got it, he's gone. Like that team, man. I do worry. Like how I've been heavily praising Woodcroft for his lineup decisions.
Yeah.
In game and how he's deploying them. I do worry like someone like Nugent Hopkins or those middle scorers don't show up a little bit more to take the pressure off.
I will say Nugent Hopkins hasn't done what he was doing in the regular season.
He's been a little invisible.
He has 100%.
Like looks wise.
Yes.
That this train will, fizzle out a little bit.
Yeah.
But if you're still getting power plays, like that doesn't.
Absolutely. They're guaranteed. I mean, that's a guaranteed 2 goals a game for them right now. At least 2 goals a game for them.
Aside from, McDavid and Draisaitl.
Yeah.
The biggest reason why I'm actually in on the Oilers this year, which I never believe in them because of in the past coaching and their matchups.
Yeah.
Is their role players have been an absolute underrated problem.
Yes.
And this in this way for a good and at this time in a good way. Like Fogle, Derek Ryan, Brent Kulak have all done absolutely under the radar amazing jobs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Supporting what I mean, McDavid, Leon, they're going to do their thing, right? I mean, that's just that. But then there's the rest of the void that's left in the game, like you said, that now is actually being taken over responsibly and being like it exists now. Had not previously existed when we have watched this team. I mean, again, Leon has taken over. This is not the first playoffs that he's taken over. Right now, he's playing at an insane pace. I think he's 13 goals right now, which is insane. I think he only needs, 6 or 7 goals for the most goals in a playoffs? If this is a deep run, man, I mean, that could be a record broken by Leon. McDavid's second in points in the playoffs right now to Leon. And I think 4th or 5th in points in the playoffs is Evan Bouchard as well. Now, this is not surprising that we're seeing Edmonton Oilers players topping the stats in the league. It happens every regular season. But it's sensational work by those top guys. But then you got to have the rest of your game. And Jake said, those guys are showing up. They're there. It exists.
Well, Kulak and Desharnais, they've allowed them to shelter, also going 7D, had allowed them to shelter Nurse away too, because you could play Broberg, who maybe he's not as good offensively.
Yeah.
And not great defensively, but he's better than Nurse.
Yeah.
Because there's still moments where I look at him and I'm like, what are you even thinking here? Which at $9 million is still inexcusable.
100%.
But I do like. I am just a fan of what this team is doing right now.
Yeah.
Even though it's only 1-1.
Still, this series is, We got forever to go in the series. They could easily do it.
I think the biggest thing is like the fact that McDavid has just now arrived is more. It's more of a show of just how good LA was,
mhm.
less so than McDavid being bad in the first round.
Yeah, 100%. And I believe you said you don't think Vegas can match top to bottom,
Oh no,
and could be very well why we're seeing McDavid,
like
obviously.
this game 3 might be an absolute issue for Vegas
Yeah,
because
it
now
could
it
be.
goes home to Edmonton,
Yeah,
where they have been unstoppable this playoffs. When
absolutely.
you can just roll your lineup the way it's designed, the way you want it to be played, it's hard to stop them.
And it's not like Vegas isn't playing bad necessarily. Their guys are still there. Eichel is still performing. Stone, Stevenson, everything we talked about previously when it comes to Vegas is still existing. But I mean, I don't care how well you're doing, dude. When Edmonton is playing this well, you're gonna have issues.
Well, they can't deal with the
Yeah,
speed and even the checking of what the Oilers are doing.
yeah.
Like Eichel had a few individual chances in game 2,
hmm
and were just quickly snuffed away by speed and physicality.
And you obviously can't take a penalty.
And then which their speed draws penalties.
Just takes away that entire portion of the game because it's unstoppable. It's not. We're not saying, hey, if you can stop it if you do blank, blank, and blank. Right now, it is unstoppable. I mean, the team is just too good.
As long as they
You do
have
not let them get into that
the
position.
energy and they're not fatigued.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. What does Vegas need to do? What does Vegas? How can they do?
They have to play as close to LA as they can.
Mm-hmm.
Slow it down.
Yeah.
You play with possession. You play like the Leafs. You be as deliberate. Like ever seen how those teams play at 3-on-3 in overtime in the regular season when they circle around trying to basically draw to a shootout?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that?
Yeah.
Do that. You do not at no circumstances do you give possession away.
Yeah.
You keep the puck and try and keep the puck the whole entire game.
Play with control.
Yep.
A little bit conservatively when you need to. Don't risk it to turn over the puck and just have someone just skate past you in the other direction.
Because this is not the answer where dump and chase makes sense.
Yeah,
because the defense has been just sitting back waiting for something like that.
Yeah.
They get it and it's right out, and then it's a problem.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, you got anything else for this year's? Anything else you want to say?
Not besides, I want to see Game 3 in the worst way because that crowd's going to be nuts.
Yeah, 100%. All right. Well, I mean, hey, that kind of closes it out for us, right? Everything that you need to know about us is right below me going by right now. We can do it in order. Instagram at Between the Benches FTF. We throw up. It's just a weird thing to say. We throw up all those graphics I showed previously. Twitter, TikTok at BTBFTF. Full episodes on YouTube at For the Fan Network. It's mainly just us going right now doing hockey because that's just season. What's in season. And then, yeah, there's all our scores like usual. They've been there all episode. And thank you, everyone. And we will see you in a few games.